What's up, everybody? Solomon here. How you guys doing? Can you guys hear me all right? Give me a thumbs up. If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up in the chat. It's going to rain. It's going to storm. Yes, no, yes, no. Can you hear me? All right, cool. You guys can hear me. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to wait. I'm more important than personal hygiene priorities. I don't know about that, Flair. So we do have some stuff to get into here today, and really kind of the big picture type stuff is exactly what I'm doing right now, as well as talking about some of the news that's out there. To give you guys just a quick update, and I guess maybe I'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes here to see if anybody else wants to hop in. So let's give it a minute or two before I start on this. How have you guys all been doing? How was your week? How was everybody's 4th of July weekend for those of you in the U.S.? For those of you in the U.K., our Independence Day from England. My sources. What's up, A Rotary dude? Oh, it's ripple.com. Hey, and on like a real note, dude, like I love the fact that BitBoy, that guy, is talking about XRP. That guy has a gigantic community. The only, and honestly, like, I think the more people talking and learning about what RippleNet and Ripple are trying to accomplish, as well as XRP's utility within just that one ecosystem, as well as the many other utilities that XRP and the XRPL are going to have, it is fantastic to me. The only caveat that I have to that entire thing is I don't like if okay, so like for example, Crypto Eddie, like she asked me to come onto a call for Flare basically. And I messaged her directly and I told her, like, look, I don't know, like in the whole chat, I was like, look, I don't know enough about Flare to come on and potentially be a source of value for this conversation. And a couple of people reached out to me and said that I certainly should still join anyways. I'm sure a lot of you guys watched that chat. But for me, it's like I don't want to talk or touch base on something. Like I wouldn't garner like an entire discussion, or at least I wouldn't facilitate an answer on something unless I knew about it and I knew enough to speak on it. And like, so while you guys are on here, like I will play this real quick because maybe not a lot of people kind of saw this, but I do know BitBoy, like he has brought up some really interesting points with the SEC lawsuit and talking about how Jed McCaleb really wasn't implicated whatsoever, even though they're talking about Ripple all the way back at the inception point. So that was a really good point by him. But I don't know. I've always been the type of person that I don't like seeing things that are just solely based on my inside sources and stuff like that whenever there's really no basis to it. And especially when you don't even understand the use case, or at least apparently based on the video, don't even understand the use case of what, or the utility of what Ripple is trying to accomplish or already is accomplishing, and the implications of what a stable coin would mean for XRP. So I'm going to play this maybe for like 2 minutes. We'll listen to this real quick. I'm curious if you guys can hear this when I start playing this in a second. Just give me a heads up. My laptop should be in probably, I would say like tomorrow or Friday. So I'm going to spend this weekend working on my new laptop. This is my work one, so I'm just doing a live stream on YouTube for that reason. So I'm going to play this, though. This is from BitBoy. He was essentially asked about an XRP stablecoin via Ripple. And big shout out to Martin Volk. He's the dude that actually posted this first and foremost. So thanks for tagging me, dude.
Why does XRP or Ripple having a stablecoin, how does that affect the price of XRP, or why is that a big deal?
Yeah, so, well, what it's going to allow, if you guys don't know, there's an arms race right now to create CBDCs and which chain these are going to be on. We do know that Ukraine, for instance, is going to be using Stellar as their underlying infrastructure. And when you look at, Ripple create, now, I'll be careful what I say here because we have a big video coming out on this week, and I'm actually going to show you guys the white paper they created, the CBDC white paper they created.
Guys, so first and foremost, BitBoy's got a secret CBDC white paper that we all need to be paying attention to. So I'm actually interested to see this if I haven't seen it before. Yeah, we'll be paying attention to that. But really, I could care less about any of that. I'm more so care about the things that are just blatantly and ignorantly incorrect about what's kind of stated here in the future. And I hope, like, I know that Matthew or Matt in the XRP community, obviously working for Ripple, has offered to have an interview with BitBoy. I hope that somehow gets facilitated in the near future as well.
That one will be out probably Saturday or Sunday. So I'm going to save like a lot of my thoughts for that video actually. But in general, if you look at all the top ecosystems, they have their own stable coins. It's very important. It allows more trading, more liquidity. And when you think about what Ripple's...
So let me stop that real quick, because the implication is that Ripple is going to have its own stablecoin ecosystem. I don't necessarily agree with that. I could be completely wrong. My thought process is, and we'll kind of go over this in a second here, and there's reasons behind why we will see interoperability between stablecoins and the XRPL, even from Ripple's stance, because we already have that from the consumer stances of using XRP versus USDC or anything else. But we will certainly, I think, see that through Ripple's stance as well. But to me, it does not make any sense whatsoever for Ripple to come out with some sort of a stable version of XRP or a stable coin of XRP. So let's keep going.
Ripple's doing specifically with cross-border transfers, it's very easy to understand why having a stable coin would work and be good, because that makes prices stable. Now you're not actually having, because now I could be wrong. I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that the actual back end of these money transfers still is probably slow, right? Like Ripple's doing stuff on the front end to get the money there quicker.
All right, so Ripple is doing things on the front and the back end. Of course, the back end is slow, because anytime that you have money move across borders, probably 9 times out of 10, that's still considered a payment. Instant settlements necessarily don't happen right now. They do, but they don't. So we'll get into that a little bit in a second here. But I just kind of want to clarify these types of things, because I think that there's a big misconception about Ripple's different product suites, as well as what Swift can currently do, and what Ripple is actually trying to focus on. Ripple is not trying to focus on the front end or the back end. Ripple is trying to focus on a liquidity solution that encompasses instant settlement, period, across the board, whether that be via XRP, whether that be you can even go to Interledger Protocol, which is a value agnostic protocol. It doesn't even care if you're using XRP or gold, or I could literally put a shoe up for sale. There's multiple different facets that go into this. The front end is just as important as the back end, is just as important as all of the nonsense inefficiencies in the legacy system. So Ripple is certainly their end goal here, and why they're meeting with the IMF and the Bank of England and the Bank for International Settlements and all these global powerhouses isn't because they revolutionized the front end of payments, not settlement. That's incorrect. So,
but at the end of the day, if you're going to send $100,000 over to somewhere else in a different country, then that money's still going to eventually get there in cash, right?
Yep.
I think I don't know the dynamics of how the actual transferring works on Ripple, but I assume they're still on the back end that's got to work. So you would think.
So here, oh fuck! All right, hold on, let me finish this.
The volatility of the price of XRP could come into play there. So having a stable coin could delete that volatility and make it much easier. So they call me the supreme leader of XRP. Irony.
All right, so the supreme leader of XRP needs to, I think, brush up a little bit on the way that these money transfers actually work. I think that's kind of inherent in taking on the role of quote unquote supreme leader, which I haven't heard before, but there's a lot that goes into this. So, if you've been around the XRP community long enough, if you've been around the Ripple, before XRP, the Ripple community, and understanding and deep diving on what Swift has done and what Ripple is doing. So Swift has GPI right now. GPI certainly enables instant settlement. Some people may not know that. But instant settlement through GPI is essentially through these promissory agreements that is basically Ripple's version of Xcurrent, which does not have to, but has the option of utilizing XRP if these institutions, I guess, would agree to do so. And by instant settlement from promissory agreements on both sides, I mean that there still needs to be pre-funded transactions on the front and the back end, which is what you get into with Nostro and Vostro. So I forget. I think Nostro is front end. I think Vostro is back end, or maybe it's vice versa. But it doesn't matter. You're still pre-funding. You still have trapped liquidity. The whole point of RippleNet, the whole point of XRP is to free up trapped liquidity. The entire point of XRP is to free up trapped liquidity, as well as to, the XRPL, as well as like ILP, Interledger Protocol, is for interoperability between different systems. It doesn't matter if it's a stable coin. It doesn't matter if it's XRP. It doesn't matter about any of that shit. The whole reason that XRP is a fantastic value proposition, in my opinion, and why I think it will go up, is because it's the most efficient asset out there for its use case, which is its use case is a bridge mechanism, especially when you get into these low liquidity corridors like exotic countries. So Ripple cares about the front end, they care about the back end, but they care about the bigger picture. They could give it. I mean, the front and the back end are legacy problems. Those problems will go away. The whole problem that gets solved by RippleNet, the XRPL, Interledger Protocol, any of these different things, is interoperability, number one, where there's these value agnostic protocols that interoperate together that don't care about what value you're transferring. And then XRP's use case comes into play when you have the most efficient asset to utilize for whatever you want to utilize it for. XRP may not be the most efficient asset to utilize in certain situations. It certainly probably won't be. But when you type Flare in and you give XRP smart contract functionality and all these other things, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue where XRP is going to go. It's kind of hard to argue with the SEC lawsuit, which was certainly I still think it's a smokescreen. It's just interesting to see how that entire thing played out. So I would love to see BitBoy do an interview with Matt Hamilton, who certainly, I don't even follow Matt. He doesn't follow me. I think we have different beliefs across the board as far as a lot of these things, but I respect Matt because I know that Matt puts in the work, and I know that he's a realistic individual, and I know that he doesn't deal in hype. He just deals in reality. And that dude has done a shit ton for RippleNet, and he certainly believes in the utility of XRP. Otherwise, he wouldn't be working where he's working right now. So there's a lot of misconceptions about what Ripple is actually trying to do, what they've actually probably already accomplished, in my opinion, and in the value proposition for XRP and what XRP's use case is within this interoperable ecosystem that we were certainly approaching sooner rather than later. So I wanted to clear that up first and foremost because I saw that video today and it kind of it really pissed me off because I love to see more people get involved in the XRP space, in the Ripple space, and to kind of understand the implications of what's going on with who Ripple's involved with, not only just Ripple, but even the value proposition and the utility of XRP. The thing that concerns me is that BitBoy has been talking about XRP now for probably a handful of months, and he still doesn't understand the way that the transfers work. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say that I understand every way that the transfers work. And I'm certainly very, very glad that he's getting the word out for Ripple and XRP to multiple people in his community, which is very much so. A lot of his community is very proof of work centric. Bitcoin, a lot of different digital assets. But I think it makes sense, and it behooves us all, if we're going to actually provide information and take on this role in this space, to not just provide the hype, because there's always going to be hype. I've gotten hypey sometimes, but I've gotten hypey, but I have the information to back it up. I think it behooves us all, if we're going to touch base on something and talk on something and facilitate answering questions to people, that we have the insight and the information, and we do our own due diligence and research to actually be able to help people, and not lead people down these paths where they're immediately following the wrong information if they're interested in something. So I've never been one to say, and I hope that and I know that there's some people in the space that just won't touch base on stuff if they're not informed enough about it to touch base on it. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. So I do want to talk real quick. If you guys aren't aware, I always go back to the cigar IMF presentation from 2017. If you guys, let me try to pull. Shit, I think I eliminated that. Ripple's product suite initially was X Current, right? Which is basically a messaging, a connectivity solution. X Current is essentially these pre-validated messages back and forth can still instantly settle. You still need Nostro and Vostro. You guys just got to look into this for yourselves. I mean, XRP for me is a bridge mechanism for these low liquidity corridors, especially involved very much so into I don't want to say the letters, but these big institutions that are certainly tied in with very, 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 very deeply, I will say, into the old money in this world. So, I mean, if you don't know, I mean, Central Bank of France has really talked a lot about XRP, and these two statements really stick out to me. And then I'm going to move on from this point and just kind of talk about what I'm doing in the market right now, really quickly. This is, I think, through CPA Australia. This document came out. They had a kind of like a subsection about XRP. This was a little bit earlier this year, not too early this year, but one of the notes in this section is essentially talking about France's central bank, which is Bank de France, openly discussing Ripple and XRP as a possible platform for Europe's central digital currency. So not just, this is literally basically talking about RippleNet and the XRPL as the platform for Europe's CBDC. I have that on my Twitter. The other thing, which is really interesting, which kind of ties in with this as well, same organization, France's central bank, which is leading me to believe that statement from CPA Australia is more than likely true. This was from Bank de France, and this was earlier this year. Units issued on the wholesale central bank digital currencies native blockchain could be transferred to other blockchains. So units issued on the native blockchain that these banks utilize, as far as CBDCs are concerned, can be transferred to other blockchains. Since the attributes of a unit of the wholesale CBDC, which is a file representing the currency unit, and the keys, the private keys that enable the use of that, may be integrated into a crypto asset circulating on another blockchain, which is possible on Ethereum and RippleNet. So the native blockchain, obviously, on RippleNet would be the XRPL. So what is the native asset on the XRPL? It's obviously XRP. So real quick, I did want to talk about this. Elizabeth Warren, obviously, talking about the Senate Banking Committee and saying that regulations need to come out by this month. I don't know how much stock I take into this necessarily. We knew that regulations are going to come at some point rather than later. It would behoove a lot of us right now probably to make sure that we have shored up our assets and we don't just hold a shit ton of assets on exchanges right now. And if there's utility assets, for me personally, not financial advice, but I'm going to be buying utility assets. I'm not going to go heavy into them because that's what I want to get into next in this video. And I'll field questions maybe at the end. But I want to buy enough where if there's assets that I have not, that I currently don't custody for myself that I wish I would have, I'm going to buy just a small portion of those, almost for the, cover my ass type thing, just in case something happens, so that I at least hold a small bag of those. Just off the top of my head, Energy Web, Avalanche. I would probably want to get more in, a little bit more Zenfin. And then there's really smaller ones too. I've already posted these ones to Patreon, but like Casper, in my opinion, is going to be gigantic in the future. Covalent is probably going to be really big. There's just different digital assets ones that were around during the bull run that I did not pick up enough of or just didn't pick up because the prices were going up. And I'm like, oh, I'll wait for a dip. The dip never occurred. So, but I'm not going to go in heavy. And I think what I'm going to do right now is kind of field questions for maybe 2 or 3 seconds here and then go in and just talk about where I think we're at in the market, which that's kind of the really big reason that I wanted to do this video, because I see so many videos right now about like, well, we're about to have altcoins blast off, altcoins blast off, altcoins blast off. And I am going to be the bearer of bad news. I think that we might see a relief rally and we may see altcoins run. I am leaning more towards like 75% go into a bear market than I am 75% have altcoins blast off. I haven't sold my utility assets, but I don't know. I see so many YouTube videos about like altcoins going on like a major run, and they certainly can. But we see shitcoins still running, but these utility-based digital assets, some of them that we have held that we haven't seen run, like XRP, like Hedera Hashgraph that we want to see run majorly, we just haven't seen that. And it's very concerning to me to see what it's very concerning for me, I guess I would say, to see everybody saying that we're going to have an altcoin season. And nobody's saying the opposite. And I even I was in a discussion. There's a dude on my Patreon, Nature Symmetry, a fantastic individual. We talk all the time on there, and we were just having like a very healthy discussion. Like I was like just putting out that that difference of opinion. Like what if the blow off top didn't happen, and the end of the bull run is actually here for utility assets? What levels does that potentially put us at? Because I don't look at any of this as a negative thing. If we are at the end of the bull run, I don't look at this as negative whatsoever, because I look at it as a gigantic opportunity to sit and wait for indicators where not necessarily that the bottom is in, but that we're close to the bottom where I can go in much heavier. And I was looking at that and I was thinking like, man, so generally in a bull market, when the bull market ends and we have this blow off top, especially for these legacy based assets, we see all these assets like correct down over the course of like 12 months to 16 to 18 months. And when they correct down and they bottom maybe 10, 15% above their all-time highs. Like, what if that doesn't happen? Like, I'm just trying to think of every scenario that could potentially happen, because really, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market cap, we hit like $850 billion during the last cycle, which is like 2017, early 2018, whatever, $880 billion. That was like a blow off top moment. So like, how much support really is there? Like, what if we go down to like $400 billion? Nobody's talking about that whatsoever. If we were to go down to a $400 billion market cap in crypto, that would be an absolutely insane moment for me. So like, there is at no point when I'm buying dips or anything else like that where I will have wasted all of the fiat that I have on the sideline to buy those dips, because my expectation will be that I know nothing, and that if that price point happens for all of crypto period, that will be the best opportunity that I'd ever have at buying crypto in my entire life. Which I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying I will have certain amounts lined up on the side in case that does happen. So I see all this bullish sentiment still, but every single thing that I look at it from Bitcoin stance is extremely bearish. I'm not saying that we're not going to have some sort of a relief rally in the interim. I'm not saying that certain altcoins won't run. We are still seeing complete shit coins do 100Xs. That doesn't mean anything, because at some point somebody has to pay the piper. If Bitcoin goes red, and I don't believe that we're in a utility bull run yet, because we don't even have fucking regulations yet, every coin will pay the piper to an extent. You can even look at Quant. Quant started out very low. Quant has been on a consistent uptrend with a baseline ever since it launched in, what was it, 2018? Maybe early 2019, and I had Quant's chart pulled up, but it still did pay the piper. If you look at Quant's chart in March of 2020, it paid the piper. If you would have bought in Quant at the very beginning, it wouldn't have mattered if it paid the piper or not, because it still was continuously going up. And I think that Quant probably will do that, because Quant is a fucking monster. But I think that we'll see a $20 Quant again. I think that we'll see an $18 Quant again. Maybe not 20, maybe not 18, but we'll see somewhere around that range. Because I don't believe that we're in a utility bull run. I could be completely wrong, but I am going to throw this out there, because every other thing that I see is like, oh my God, we're going to go to the fucking moon. But I believe that price action dictates everything. And at some point, I believe that utility changes that to an extent. And we literally do see these utility assets just murdering everything else, but we're not there yet. Yeah, so Elizabeth Warren's statement today. So she put out a letter to the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler. It's a kind of a long-winded letter here. Essentially, talking about scams in the market, talking about all these people that lost money between October and March of this year, talking about crypto exchanges being transparent, essentially, fair, orderly, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, these are things that we've seen before. I don't know how much stock to necessarily take into a letter, but the thing that I would take more stock into is shit. I don't know if I can find it. I put it on my Patreon in the Telegram. Hold on. Hang on 1 second, guys. This is from... God, I hope I can find this. Okay. This is from the Bank of France, I think, and this was posted at the very end of June. Can't remember who this dude is. It's on the Bank of France's website. They're talking about CBDCs here, but what they are talking about is the European Payment Initiative, which is EPI, I think, which is supposed to go live in 2022, maybe early 2023. And this one dude from the Bank of France, literally in this, and it's right on the Bank of France's website. This document is called, here, I will post this in the chat real quick. Road for the future, central bank digital currency, and innovative payments. Copy link. Go into the live stream. So I posted this link right here. Hang on one sec. Literally in this article, he says, I must stress the urgency here. We do not have much time left. 1 or 2 years, everybody is talking about a central bank digital currency. But first, and much earlier, we need to regulate crypto assets and then implement the European Payments Initiative. Fucking crazy. Okay, so if they want to regulate crypto assets first, there's one of two reasons that they would want to do that. Actually, the first reason before the European Payments Initiative goes live, why they would want to regulate crypto is because they know that it's going to be fucking utilized at some point in time. The bigger underlying reason is for tax purposes, obviously, because they want to be able to tax things that are utilized that interoperate with the EPI and that are utilized under that new European Payments Initiative. So they're going to regulate crypto. It's just a matter of time. And once we actually have clear-cut and concise regulations, I know we already do in some nations, but like we don't have them like 90% across the board. So it's going to be a cascade and a domino effect, and the laggards are going to really, really suffer, in my opinion. So unless there's an ace card up the sleeve, so or joker up the sleeve, so. I don't know how much stock I take into the Elizabeth Warren thing, though. I mean, I really don't care about that. It's a letter. It's a letter to fucking Gary Gensler. Like, we've seen multiple things over the past. If you've been here for 4 years, we've seen things like this all the time. So they are going to regulate crypto. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I think it's just more to add to the fear cycle right now. Same thing with a lot of the exchange-based shit. We are going to see certain exchanges certainly have problems in the future, which, that's just the nature of the beast, which is why you should always custody your own crypto. But we may see banks just completely eliminate the option to buy crypto as well. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to do this chat. Like I certainly have a little bit of the opposite opinion about what a lot of other people think are going to happen with price action over the course of the next 6 months to a year. Now, that's not to say that I could be completely wrong. We may see a complete reversal. In order to do that, we need to completely reverse this trend. And Bitcoin, honestly, and I'm not a fucking TA guy, but from everything that I've seen, Bitcoin has broken down, and Bitcoin is certainly not in a bull market right now. And if Bitcoin's not in a bull market, then every other coin needs to be worried about it, because we are not in a utility bull market. Bitcoin has not been usurped yet. There is not a king on the mountain besides Bitcoin yet. We have seen other assets run. We're probably going to continuously see that. Shit, I remember XRP when Bitcoin was really crashing. This had to be like late 2018. XRP was like sitting strong at like $1 or something like that, and everybody was like, "Man, XRP's holding up so well." And then what happened? Eventually everybody pays the piper. Like I said before, XRP crashed down to 11 cents at some point in time. So March 2020. So it's crazy right now, man. Like, I've seen so many bullish things. Like, I hope that we go bullish. I haven't touched my utility assets. If there's assets that I think are undervalued even right now, like I talked about Casper and Covalent and some of these ones like that have just really shit the bed after the pre-sales. But they shit the bed after their pre-sales because they did not have a chance to participate in the bull run, because Bitcoin crashed right as like the pre-sale dump would have ended, and we would have seen that like pump. Bitcoin started crashing, so they never had the chance to do that. So I will certainly add small bags of assets like that, but very small bags, just so that I can be on the boat. And I'm not going to miss some of those boats. But, for me, my goal kind of right now is to really watch Bitcoin. And I think that we may be in for some pain. We may see a pretty decent relief rally here if we keep holding above like 31K, something like that. But, I don't know if that's going to be enough to negate what's going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months. And we may see altcoins run and do their parabolic move as well. I'm not saying that's not going to happen. I'm certainly at this point staying away from all of the shit coins, though. I caught a shit coin like 2 months ago, and then I went to the dark side for like a month and a half and was just completely looking at shit coins, and I got wrecked. So not going to be happening for me anymore. Utility is the safer way to go. And yeah, I mean, there'll be shit coins will have their time again for me in the future, maybe in the next bull run, in the early portions of the bull run, but not right now with rug pulls and stuff like that. I'm solely based on utility again. So, do you guys have any questions? Because I am going to end this probably in like 10 minutes. I know I've been talking for a while here, so. Anything connected to Interledger Protocol or ISO 20022, I'm jumping in. Yeah. I mean, we also have to pay attention to, so GDLT. I think we also have to pay attention to some of these green assets. Like, I think Energy Web is going to be absolutely fucking massive. The decarbonization of blockchains is going to be huge. You know, especially when you start to tie in these proof of work assets and stuff like that. Assuming that, you know, the miners can come to consensus to actually utilize protocols that are going to make them more efficient and green. So, and there's certainly going to be other ones that do the same thing. Like Hedera Hashgraph is obviously a green asset. Somebody was posting about certain digital assets today, like on the Telegram that I'm in, and I always hate to like see people neglect something like Hedera Hashgraph, because to me, like, what we've seen, I know it's really loud, I'm sorry guys, what we've seen for like probably not last year, but like from 2018 to early 2020 was institutions doing proof of concepts and future proofing. To me, Hedera Hashgraph is like future proofing the future proofing, if that makes any sense. And I think at some point that will make a lot of sense. So, yeah, Scott, thanks, dude. Yeah, give if you don't follow XRP Army News on Twitter, give him a follow. He's a fantastic individual, constantly reaching out to people, constantly trying to create engagement within our community. So, family's doing good, dealing with summer school right now, so I'm exhausted. I've been doing math and history homework with my daughter every night for like 2 hours. So I've also got like that my own coin project thing that I really have to continuously focus on, which I took a break from over the 4th. I got to get back into it. It's overwhelming because a lot of people in this space like literally just do crypto full time. I work 10 hours a day at a full-time job and do this, and obviously trying to manage the family stuff too. So what was my call about with the Bearable Bull? He went through some personal shit with one of his friends, like I think it was like 5 or 6 months ago. And I reached out, like I've always been really friendly with the dude, and I reached out to him on Twitter in a DM and just gave my phone number, saying if he ever needed to call somebody, he could. And it's okay. We still always bullshit back and forth in DMs and stuff like that. But he gave me a call, and he was like, "What did he say?" He's like, "What's up, Solomon?" And I was like, "He's like, do you know who this is?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a Bearable Bull." He's like, "Bro, how'd you know that?" I'm like, "Dude, you have like the most unmistakable voice in all of crypto." We just bullshitted. He's like a utility maximalist, and I was like talking to him about how I went down to the dark path of like shit coins for like 2 months, and he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I always follow your stuff," and he's like, "And then one day, like I looked on your Twitter and you had like Titcoin posted." I was like, "Yeah, well, whatever." So we all go through our own things. So best way to store HBAR on a ledger. I mean, there's tons of information out there, dude. Hank, I like using Exodus, to be honest with you, but Ledger certainly supports Hedera Hashgraph as well. Yeah, Constellation's huge. AGIX. Oh yeah. That's the Singularity DAO, the DEX, right? My wife's making fun of me for stuttering. Casino coin will be the ultimate utility coin. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe for the online gambling industry, I don't disagree with that, but I don't know about the ultimate utility coin. I'm not disagreeing it's going to have utility, though. What's CLM? more. I don't know anything about it, dude. I will look into it though. Yeah, SDAO is our governance. Okay, yeah, I know AGI is Singularity. I've done deep dives on that. I posted AGI X to Patreon like this had to have been like a month and a half, 2 months ago, like right after it released. Okay, so maybe it's not AGIX. What is the AGI one that is tied in with? Is it AGIX? Okay, no, I'm wrong. There's another AGI one. AGI. That's going to really piss me off now that I can't find it. Yeah, there's another AGI one that's like No, I know. I hear you. AGI is AGIX. There's an AGI initiative. There's a Singularity Net initiative that is completely different than AGI, and it's like a DEX. Bobby, I think I posted this one on Patreon. Do you remember what it's called? Yeah, Singularity DAO. Yeah, SDAO. That's it. Thank you, Nature Symmetry. Yeah, if you're into Singularity, check out SDAO, or SDAI, however you want to pronounce it. $19 million market cap. Directly tied in with Singularity Net. Yeah, I've heard a lot about strong nodes also. The only I have not gone into nodes just because of the fact that I don't want to buy a node, and I could be completely wrong and I might miss out, but I don't want to buy a node if I believe that if me owning a node is based on how many coins that I potentially hold. I'm not going to buy a node if I think the coin prices are going to go down. Quincy Jones. Maybe. Okay, it's their governance token. Okay. I mean, we see multiple coins right now that are off multiple percentages from their all-time high. Who the fuck posted about Bifrost? I heard about Bifrost today. Was it just BFC, right? Is this the Bifrost one? Good entry point for ALBT. For Alliance Block, I mean, I bought my first Alliance Block at 6 cents, so I don't know. I mean, right now it's probably like 30-something cents. Alliance Block is one of those coins for me that I'm just going to hold some, and I'll dollar cost average in because I don't want to not hold it. I think right now, for me, if I didn't hold any Alliance Block, I would buy it. Not financial advice, but I would want to hold Alliance Block just to hold it. Pottsville. There you go, dude. Oldest brewery in the United States, man. Some point Pottsville, PA. I'm not. What does "I'm a squid" mean? API 3 is big. Because I'm not a Marine. I'm not sleeping on VeChain, bro. I have VeChain. I hold VeChain. I don't hold any Tron. No. It could be a complete mistake. mean, Justin Sun is continuously working in the space. So, plus we see all these Tron assets as well. They're obviously certainly into DeFi and everything else. Harmony's huge. I did a deep dive on Harmony like back in December, I think, November, December. And I, as an idiot, I didn't buy Harmony because it was inconvenient based on the exchanges it was on. Certainly regret that. Bro, I don't know, Ryan, if you were in the Patreon or not, but you know I posted Router months ago. DFYN, you know, kind of going along that DFYN and Router protocol thing. You could look into Oro Pocket. Oro Pocket is tokenizing gold and silver on Tezos, so fucking super undervalued. Oro Pocket right now is probably like, it's got to be less than a $3 million market cap coin. Fully diluted is 6 million. Yeah, Oro Pocket is like, here, I'll post this. You guys can look into this. I'm not recommending this. I don't hold this right now. Yeah, there's way too many coins. That's Oro Pocket, not financial advice. Just take a look into them. They're tokenizing gold and silver on Tezos. They've got relationships kind of similar to what you see with like DFIN or DFYN and Router and stuff like that. So. MobileFi is, yeah, like that's, I have that, Darren, just so you know, dude, I have MobileFi rewritten down on my list. I also have JigStack rewritten down on my list too. So I'm like, I'm not saying to look at my Patreon. I really don't care, but I did a really, really big deep dive in November, December of last year where I went through like the top, November I went through the top 2,000 coins. Right now, just because of all the shit coins and everything else like that, like I'm going through like the top 5,000 or 6,000. My list right now probably has like 100 coins on it, and I'm only at like coin like 2,600 working my way backwards. And I'll probably stop at $100 million market cap. But there's coins that I've rewritten down to look at and potentially accumulate. MobileFi is one of them. MobileFi, if I'm not mistaken, is Darren, is MobileFi Hashraf or is it Cardano? I forget which coin it's tied into, but you got like JigStack, which through like Lemonade and stuff like that is partner or tied in with Hashraf. Oro is certainly one that I'm looking at still with Tezos. There's Matic ones out there that are really low that have just kind of bottomed. SpiderDAO, whatever, however we want to pronounce it, which is tied in with like Alliance Block and all these other coins. These are coins that like necessarily never ran. Like SpiderDAO like reminds me a lot of like Holochain. We certainly saw Holochain do a little bit of a pump. So I mean, these are coins I'm not going to neglect to put back on that list again. BPro sounds really familiar, so I'm sure I think I have looked into it. I'll write it down again, though, on my hand. Oh, VXV sounds familiar, too.
Jenny back in.
Jenny, go in the house.
Back in, can you help?
Oh, yeah, Vector Space, yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm certainly looking at Vector Space. Vector Space has been rumored to be partnering with Alliance Block for like 4 months now. Stellar, I'm holding Stellar. Stellar's another asset that I just won't sell. I'm just always going to have a little bag of Stellar. No, maybe. Hold on, let me look at. No, MobileFi is different than Mobi. Wow, $500,000 market cap, really? Just completely in the shitter. MobileFi reminds me a lot of like Router protocol and like how that kind of looks. MobileFi, I think, is Hashraf. I think MobileFi, the team, yes. So Yudi Zhu used to work at Hedera. One of their advisors works at Ocean Protocol, Falcon Private Bank, F10. MobileFi is working with F10, SpiderDAO, API3, R3 Corda, Hedera Hashgraph, Umbrella, Polygon. Yeah, Darren, I think for me, dude, yeah. Just because I know that you and I looked at this like 2.5, 3 months ago when this first came out. Yeah, if you guys want to check out Mobify, I mean, not financial advice, that's their website, dude. They're working with like ridiculous organizations. And that's kind of what happened though. Like 2 months ago, there was this shift from like 2.5 months ago. There was this like real big shift from like utility to like these real shit coins. And if you hit one, you kind of went down that dark to that like the dark side path of that whole thing. But like Mobify to me is still probably a coin to at least watch out for. There was other ones out there too, like Geek, GEEQ, which seemed like they had this like really like proof of honesty and stuff like that. Really interesting coins that just never kind of took off. Doesn't mean they're not developing. Doesn't mean that they won't take off at some point in time. Maybe they're just building and not focusing on marketing. So there's coins out there like that, certainly. Yeah, and the dude. So I mean, like when you get into like these smaller ones with utility that say they're working with other platforms, I think it always makes sense to like go to these Twitter accounts and see who's following them as well. I know Mobify has a Twitter account, so you know, see who's following them. If there's Hedera team members, I can't remember that if Mobify had that or not, but I know that the dude did come from Hedera, so fucking crazy. 16 cents to $1,300 in 18 months. Yep. You're 100% right, dude. And how crazy is it that Ethereum doesn't even have a max supply, right? So like I look at Alliance block where you're going to see like 700 million circulating at the most at any time. Max supply is like 1 billion, but you have to completely take out what's going to be staked. You have to completely take out what some of these organizations are just going to hold for utilizing the data protocols and everything else, and the governance and the regulatory protocols that Alliance block is going to have. The actual circulating supply is going to be so low, like so low. I certainly think like a $10 Alliance block is almost a given at this point in time if they just keep developing and regulation kicks in and everything else. And I think that much higher than that is probably possible as well. It's almost like a waiting game with some of these assets that are actually going to be used. You know what I mean? Cello is one that I really have to familiarize myself with a little bit more. I think another one that I need to do that with is reserve rights. I'll write these down on a sheet of paper after my hand. I mean, there's just so many. There's one that starts with an H that I forget about. Tezos. I hold Tezos. RV Glover says, we've been trying to reach you about your vehicle's extended car warranty. Every fucking call. I don't hold Celsius, man, but I wish that I did. Crypto Siege. I did an interview with Crypto Siege and Lee from SPQR like months ago, probably like a year ago. Harmony, I did a big deep dive on, huge. APL, I haven't looked into. I mean, these big assets for me, though, like, are certainly something that I'm going to revisit during the bear market. It's hard for me to look into ones that are already over $100 million market cap. I am, obviously, but I'm looking for these ones that maybe potentially just launched over the past like 4 months or so that are very small, that just completely took a shit because of where the market went, that didn't have a chance to recover from Bitcoin's dump, from their pre-sale dump. That probably still have a lot of utility. So, yeah, Bobby, I know you're a big Celsius guy, right? I have looked into Dovu. I held Dovu, and now I don't hold Dovu. That's not because I don't believe Dovu has utility. They've been around for a couple of years, though. They just went on the BSC. Dovu has, if I'm not mistaken, relationships with Hedera Hashgraph as well. I don't have thoughts for Safe Moon. Meta Hero. Ashley, can you give me a piece of paper so that I don't have to keep writing on my hand? In my laptop bag, I have that whole
It's right
notebook.
on that magazine.
I'm sorry for making a mistake. All right, I've got Meta Hero, Bepro or Bpro, Tezos, obviously I already have, APL, Cello, Serve Rights, and Dovo. I mean, Dovo I held. I'm not holding Dovo right now, though. So I have to completely do a massive deep dive on Flare Finance, F assets, Y assets, all of that shit really before this stuff launches, because I've been looking for coins so much that it's like, for me, there's so many valuable content creators in this space that have already done the work that I actually trust. I would certainly validate things for myself, but I do trust somebody like Mickey B. Fresh, somebody like Flare Community, somebody like Crypto Eddie, all these people that have done just fantastic work and have continuously really done all the legwork for the XRP community and have maintained kind of the stance for Flare and Spark and XRP during this entire market cycle, which I've kind of went towards looking for other coins while also still obviously loving XRP. I'm hearing a lot about potentially trying to allocate as much as you possibly, well, one guy said potentially allocate as much as possible into Flare time series oracles. So there's multiple different ways to go about it. So I plan on just doing a massive deep dive crash course into it. Yeah, Siege is a beast, man. Crypto Siege is a monster. He's such a nice guy too. He's such a nice, down to earth guy. Just a very good individual. I would go to war with that dude anytime. He's reached out to me a couple of times. I love that dude. Yeah, I certainly hold Algorand. Kevin Cage, that's Kevin Cage's baby. I'm gonna just continuously hold that. What state do you think I'm in, Tom? I haven't even looked at Zilliqa. I used to hold Zill. I don't right now. It's still a beast in my opinion. Zilliqa's proof of work though, right? I know a lot of people are saying from a charting standpoint that Zilliqa looks like it's going to go. So, no, I'm not in New Jersey. That's like blasphemy, dude. What was the other one? There was an asset on a Zinfin based asset that is now on BitTrue right now. It just got listed a week ago. I'm a project manager for work, dude. Yeah, I'm just going to start doing riddle shirts. So, yeah, I'm going to end this. So, hold on, baby. So, kind of an update, I expect to get my hold. What?
Clean it up.
Bosley, what?
Clean. That's okay.
Can you go inside, honey?
I don't know how to.
Please go inside.
Toilet paper. You've done it before.
Thank you. I should have my new laptop here within a day or so, so you'll actually see some more YouTube videos that were kind of similar to the old school ones. However, yeah, I will look at Meta Hero for sure. I will definitely look at Meta Hero. You will see more YouTube videos like deep dives and stuff like that. I think what I'm going to do when I really relaunch the YouTube is more so focus on just all utility based assets and not keep it one sided, because from what I've seen, HBAR and Alliance Block and stuff like that, there's been a very much so a community rallying from the XRP community whenever these assets with utility are presented to them. So I'm going to try to find more like that. And I think that that's kind of lacking in this space as well. Utility maximalist type small cap and large cap coins and just news and deep dives on that type of thing. So that will certainly be what I what I focus on. So that's going to be happening starting next week. So I appreciate all your guys' time. Thank you guys for joining the live stream, and I hope that I can give a little bit of a different opinion and that it might or might not be valuable. If you want to like and subscribe, do so. If not, I don't care. I'm going to do videos anyways. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time. I will talk to you next week, hopefully when I get my laptop again. Bye.